Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, fellow trudgers. Welcome to Tuesday afternoon. Amber is not having a good sales day. Yeah, I'm sure my listeners are getting to know the people that come on here a lot because I say your names a lot. So today we're talking about time. Michelle, good to see you. And the perceptions of time and what it's good for, what it isn't good for. The main thing in this one, good afternoon, Leisure. Man, all three today on Leisure. You must be homesick. Because he is. Right. But time seems to work different for alcoholics than it does for other people for some darn reason. You know, one of the main things about time when it comes to AA, AA does for people in a matter of months what takes years for doctors and psychologists and therapists to do. And it is the steps. It is the steps, the camaraderie. Oh, you are at work. Okay. Well, you're just leisuring at work. We're in the meeting. Michelle goes, "Who's leisure?" So I had to explain that's not your real last name, though. At least I don't think it is. I don't think I know your last name, dude. I just call you Leisure. I've always called you that. So, but we, I barely know Amber's last name. I don't know Michelle's last name, but we don't. You don't need to post them here. Don't worry about that. I only know Amber's last name because of email. So, but her last name is not Rose. Oh, your first name is Sir. Your last name is Leisure. It is Sir Leisure. You guys remember Big Sur waterbeds? Remember that place? Man, they were huge in the day. But yeah, let's go and do introductions. Gonna get with this one. I've been doing some yard work. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I smell like dirt. But I used to smell like alcohol. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Amber says, and that's only one of my three last names. I understand that. For the longest time, my last name, because most people know my last name, it's Miller, like the beer. It was funny, my first wife, her last name was Daniels. And then we got married and it was Miller. I'm like, well, you went from a hard alcohol to a beer, so good for you. But growing up, my last name was Bates. You know, I do have an uncle named Norman Bates. Not legally my uncle anymore, but you know, it was through my mom's marriage. And I'm not, you know, so I went to court one day. I had to go to court a lot because I was in halfway houses and stuff. So I always had to go see I had to see Commissioner Allen once a month. figure out what we were doing and update. And one day she goes, Mr. Bates, your last name's Miller. That is your legal last name. Did you know that? And I'd never seen my birth certificate, so for some reason I just thought my last name was Bates. And she's like, you need to start going by Miller now. And yes, Michelle, like Norman Bates. And I did have an uncle named Norman. He was a professional water skier, but he was named before the movies came out. It's called Bates Motel, right? Norman Bates, who kills his mother and acts like she's still alive. Anyway, and there was a TV show called The Bates Motel. That was pretty good. That was pretty decent. The kid that played Norman in that, they definitely picked the right person. He's also the doctor in The Good Doctor. He plays an autistic doctor. It is 2:22 right now, just to let you know. But she said, hey, Dion, your last name is Miller and you need to go by that. And I said, well, I've been wanting to change my name. And this was while I was in Arapahoe shelter, I believe. But anyway, and she's like, well, you're a ward of the state. You can do that if you ever decide to get emancipated. Well, I didn't know that the rights for me, I didn't know that my parents had given up the rights. And I'm sure there was a reason for it. I'm not here to blame my parents or anything else. That's why I don't do that for this. I get along great with my mom now. She is healed. I have healed. But I got pretty upset by it. And actually, it didn't have to do with my mom. It had to do with the man raising me. And him, I don't mind talking crap about. I'm just kidding. And so I just kept Miller. And I did it out of spite. The man that raised us, he adopted my older brother, but he never offered for me. So, yeah. Anyway, a little bit of history about me. So Time. It's not just a Pink Floyd song, right? So one of the things that comes up for me with time is resting on our laurels. All right. We have milestones and birthdays, and we get chips for these things in the program, right? And what do we get? Well, we get a newcomer chip. So you got something in your hand. It makes it feel like you accomplished something. It's kind of like a present. We do it at 30 days, 60 day, 90 day. Right? 1, 2, and 3 months. Some groups do it every month, but see, there's a system to this, and there's a reason why. And if you listen to one of my podcasts where I talk about delayed gratification, this is delayed gratification. So for 3 months in a row, you get a chip. Isn't that nice of us? Then you have to wait 3 months and you get your 6-month chip. Then you got to wait 9 months, which is 3 more months, and then you get your 9-month chip. Then you get to a year and you get your year chip. Then you have to go 6 months. See how we're slowly taking away from you getting your chips? Because here's the thing, day counting can be kind of dangerous. And notice those are in threes. See, 3, everything in AA is divisible by 3. It's the magic number. You think there should only be plastic coins? Well, they're not even really they're made out of like faux metal. I mean, if you flipped it up in one of those beginning chips, if I flipped them up in the air and there was a strong wind, to get blown away. I think a penny is heavier than those. I don't know. I think they're made out of aluminum. But they all used to be that hefty, but you don't really get the hefty ones until the year. Then 18 months divisible by 3, 2 years. Then you go to the year. Then you gotta put it off. Okay. So we cannot use time as Is it a success? Yeah. Yeah. I would say yeah. But really, and I appreciate the app, everything, but it leads to day counting. I've got, I've got, 1,342 days. We don't celebrate that. I don't care. Right. Now, in some meetings, people announce how much time they have. That's a regular thing in AA. They're not trying to brag. They're just trying to let you know where they're at in the program, things like that. But when somebody comes into a meeting and says, I've got 1,000 days, now, if you want to put on Facebook your friends and celebrate, nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't belong in the AA meetings. See, what we get is a daily reprieve. It is one day at a time. Good evening, Patricia. It's good to see you as always. We gotta look for other successes in life, and time can't be it. Oh, I'm out here living my best life. I've got 10,000 days. It's a nice even number, right? And celebrate on the times. I'm coming up on a birthday on the 16th, 8 days from now. I'll have 9 years, but I don't have 9 years right now. Nope. Today is just Tuesday. And oh, no wonder it feels weird. I'm usually in therapy right now. I'm like, usually my Tuesdays are busier than this. What's going on? But yeah, I usually have therapy, but she wasn't feeling well this morning. So I will talk to her next week. It's all right. I can go a week. Right. So we cannot utilize time as a success unless it's your birthday. And I'll even give you a week or 2 weeks after that. If you celebrated and maybe, last Sunday was your birthday, but your home group doesn't meet on Sundays, and yeah, fuck yeah, you bring it up. I'm going to celebrate it, and I'm going to be excited for you too. I will celebrate your recovery in that because I understand it. Right. For me, it can be an accomplishment, and I don't want to take away from that. I hitting 9 and that makes me a little antsy. Makes me reflect a little bit. See, I want to get back to 10 again. 10 plus years is old timer status, man. First time I was an old timer, I was 28. Anyway, but it's to help us understand that it's a day at a time that really counts. And like today, if you got up before 7:04 a.m. this morning, you have more sobriety than me today. And we've got to keep it simple like that. Because if we run around just celebrating our days, what we're doing is resting on our laurels. Primary purpose, stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Right? Leisure says, I have a bunch of good coin stories. I value each coin I have received. Absolutely. Yeah. My current coin goes in my pocket. Now, Amber made this for me for my 8th birthday, and I know not everybody can see it, but it is a cool chip. Now, it's a little too big to be in my pocket. But I do have another chip. I do have another 8-year chip, and this one sits right here. Since she gave it to me, it is sat right here. I actually have a place for it. I leave it on top of this thing, which is my fidget spinner, right? And it sits right there, and I get to see it every single day. Now, let me grab something real quick. All right, so this is the chip that I carry around with me. So you can hear the weight, right? It makes it sound like my desk is metal. I say that for a second. right? It's hard to see because there's no light. All right, there we go. Right. Now, if you look at it, it's different than the ones we get now, huh? That is because this chip is more than 32 years old. It was my mother's 8-year chip, and she gave it to me. And I believe it belonged to her sponsor. Her sponsor was Joe Wright. Joe Wright was the owner of Arapahoe House. That was her sponsor. So I come from a lot of deep-seated, deep recovery places that I've learned a lot in this life about recovery. So let's move on from the chip portion of time. It was actually something I didn't plan on bringing it up, but there it was. What is some of the other things where time comes in? You know, we tend to start feeling better. And maybe we're 3 months, 4 months sober, finishing up our 4-step, and life is going good. Life is going forward. Then you meet up with your mother-in-law, and she just doesn't believe that you're sober. She doesn't believe you. And I'm just making an example. Actually, that one came into mind because my mother-in-law still to this day doesn't believe I'm sober. She thinks I'm lying to everybody. But she's had her own experiences where she'd been married to nothing but alcoholics. So, I can't really blame her, can I? I have my sponsor's 10-year chip, no obligation there. Okay. Yeah. But the time in an alcoholic's mind and the time for a non-alcoholic is not the same. It is different. When you live with an alcoholic who told you for years that they were going to quit drinking, they were going to change, and nothing happened. A bunch of broken and false promises. We pinky swear, we write contracts, we do all these things to try and get us to stay sore. And we fucking mean it too. I meant it. But it seemed like the moment I made that promise, the obsession like fucking tripled on me. It was worse, and it would not leave my mind. As soon as I told my mind it couldn't have it, it's all it wanted. And I couldn't control myself. Couldn't help myself, right? What does this person say? Appreciate you. I know I'm not using the. No. And this person wants to argue with me that, okay, so if you go to an AA convention and you rent a room, okay, and then in this case, it's yoga. In this case, it's yoga, and you charge, you're breaking tradition. And this person just doesn't want to see that. This is what they have to say. I'm not going to argue with them anymore. And they're being cool about it. I appreciate your concern. I know the AA program, not using the AA name in anything I am sharing. Actually, you did, but I'm going to let that go. I'm not gatekeeping any information, nor am I charging anyone for access to public information. What I'm charging for is my expertise on how the 12 steps correlate to the 8 limbs of yoga. She just said that she was breaking tradition. That's breaking tradition, man. If I charged for this, I'd be breaking tradition. I get where she's coming from, though. Good for her. I'm going to go ahead and support her. I think but you got to think twice before posting that shit. All right. Anyway. So time really, and this one isn't going to be too much longer. I didn't have much to say on it. I'm just filling up time. But really the only thing time is good for is the trust of non-alcoholics. That's what it is. Yeah. It's about all it's good for, trust, for us alcoholics. That's it. Right? So, because there again, all we really have is today. And what we have is a daily reprieve contingent on our spiritual maintenance. And that's what we receive. Now, the main thing about time is this, is we got to learn that we got to understand that we must live in the now. We've got to live in the now. So, because that's where a lot of things happen. All right. All right. Well, I think I'm going to do some more yard work and I'm still decompressing. Um, I found out about my friend a little bit over a week ago. And so, I'm mourning. And I'm at the point now where I'm kind of sad. I'm not letting it control my day, but every now and again, I just get that little twinge of crying and stuff. And I know last week I was pretty vehement on some things. I'm pretty sure I lost a lot of listeners. It's part of the game when you do something like this. So, even then, it's still hard. It's still hard. I think last week I was kind of in denial about it and the anger portion. And now that it's kind of hitting, yeah. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. I do. Peace out. And have a day.